This slide is a great lead into, I think, a really important topic that is one of the most asked things I get just about all the time, and it's about renting, getting a rental in Hawaii. So let me kind of hit this one. So this is from Ralph and Carly from Washington D.C. And they say, we'd like to rent a single family home furnished while we search for a home in either Oahu, Maui, or Kona. It would be great to have a month by month rental or a 6-month rental. Are there homes available with ocean views and maybe a pool in the $3,000 to $6,000 range? And I think what I want to touch on before having a conversation with Scott on this is that I get this all the time. People are saying, "Hey, look, I want to rent somewhere, but I'm having a hard time kind of renting it remotely. People aren't returning my phone calls. I can't seem to kind of do it. How can I get some sort of a rent going on, both for people who are considering moving here permanently and renting, and people buying a home here and they want to rent initially. So this seems to be like a real kind of a big deal. So Scott and I, we talked about this a bit, and we got a few things that we want to kind of share about. So Scott, why don't you kind of get the ball rolling here, and then we'll move on. I've got these slides ready when you want me to show them.
Yeah, I can't speak for Maui and Big Island, because when we spoke with Heidi and Dylan about this, there are a little more restrictions on anybody doing it on the short-term rental side. However, there are areas, especially, homes with a pool, you're going to be able to find them outside of the resort areas or the vacation rental areas on those islands. Here on Oahu, not a problem. The question is cost. There's places in Kailua. I actually looked it up. There's 23 properties for rent with pools that are homes with pools. There's one in Kahala right now, which is one of our nicest neighborhoods, for $5,000 a month. However, that's going to be a longer term lease. So your cost on that, you're probably looking $5,000 minimum and up. 5 to 10 would be kind of the standard, 5 to 10,000 a month. If you're going to go on that shorter term, say month to month, or 2 to 4 months on that rental period. But yeah, you should be able to get one for pool and a view. You'll find, and I think now is the time to do it because there's no vacation rental income. So people are looking for ways of getting income. And how are you going to do it? You're going to go to the longer term rents. You're going to go 30 days or more, especially with the quarantine in place. You kind of need to do that. So the opportunity is there.
So you got this slide over here. You just speak to this real quick. Why did you pick this example?
Yeah, I wanted to kind of show the range. We just talked about a house with a pool with views. You're talking 5 to 10 grand probably a month on the shorter term. This is a Waikiki studio rental. This is Marine Surf Waikiki. Great unit, totally renovated, and it's $1,500 a month. You could come and stay there for right now. So that kind of shows you kind of the lower end perspective, but a nice building, secure building. You got amenities, you got the pool. You can see right there on the left, you're a block to walk to Waikiki Beach once you're done with your quarantine. Load up on the groceries and hang there for 2 weeks, and then be able to set out from there.
I didn't realize I didn't know about this earlier, but you said that this is the Marine Surf.
Surf.
The Marine Surf was the first place I stayed at when I first moved to Hawaii. The Marine Surf. That was my first spot. So I'm familiar. That's why I'm smiling. Familiar with this building. This is another one that you have. This is more. You talked about the low and the high end, right? So you want to speak to this one real quick as an example?
Yeah, I'd kind of call this mid range here. This is the Windsor, which is more towards Ala Moana Beach Parks, kind of in between, close to the Hilton. But it used to be an office building that they converted into condos. It's got a great rooftop pool, workout facility, but this is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 2 parking for $4,400 a month, and can be had on the shorter term. You go 2-3 months there if you wanted to. That gives you time to transition, but that gives you an idea of the costing. And then, like I said, we talked about the pool side, the house with the pool at $5 grand, and the 10 is kind of what you should expect. So that kind of gives people a range, but the opportunities are there. I told you yesterday, when I looked up on Airbnb, there's significant discounts on these things, and the schedules are wide open on a lot of these. So now's the time to negotiate, to be able to, if you wanted to be able to come over on the longer run, 2 to 3 months, say.
Yeah. So again, this all goes into keeping in line with the whole quarantine thing, right? You have to be able to kind of take the 14 days, and you want to follow that as strictly clearly as you can. It's a real big deal for everybody, and we want to make sure that we're also supporting those rulings and those guidelines. But I think the bottom line, Scott, what I hear you saying is, if you're looking at doing what Ralph and Carly want to do, a 6-month lease, pool and a view for the 3 to 6K range, the answer is, yeah, most certainly you can most certainly do so. And I'm not sure how the inter-island quarantine thing is going to work if you're on, and I don't want to go into that now because I'm not sure about, but you have to kind of make sure you'd be clear about that. If once you've gone to Oahu, if you've passed quarantine, but then if you go to the other islands, do you have to kind of re-quarantine yourself or not? So that there's some issues about that. But certainly, if you're on Oahu and you're searching around, you can definitely find a place for certainly a 6-month lease. And I don't know about what about the month-to-month? Are month-to-months viable, Scott? Do you have any sense of that?
They are. No, they're definitely, and there's definitely a need for them. We got plenty of people that want that scenario. For my rentals, I usually do 6-month minimum. I would transition that now differently. I would be open to less, but I normally do 6 months because I want to feel out the person. How are they to be in my unit, and what am I as a property manager to you? Am I to your liking? And it gives us a good feeling out period, and it gives you time to come here, get quarantined, start getting familiar with the island, go out and look, find a property, get into escrow for 45 days. 6 months is about a good time frame. 4 to 6 months is about what you need.
Excellent. Let's